Greetings, this is Dr. Pan recording live from Tucson, Arizona. Here's a picture of my cat. I call him Kitty. Kitty since then passed away. But why am I showing a picture of Kitty on a math channel? Well, because this picture of Kitty actually saved me on countless math tests. This picture of Kitty calmed me down. So on the test, the things that I didn't know, I didn't know. The things I did know, I was able to collect all my thoughts because I was not nervous. I was relaxed. I put down all the things that I do know. So the things I didn't know, I just have to learn it after the exam. The things I didn't know, I put on the test. And from the things I do know, little by little, I was having the feedback to know what to study and how to study. And that's the trick I teach all my middle schoolers. So the day they sign on, I ask them to bring a picture, something that relaxes them. Often it's a pet. And also in this podcast, I want to share with you another thing you can do with your middle schoolers. It's a tiny little exercise you can do daily with your middle schoolers. I share this podcast with my good friend Christina, who has a middle schooler. And together we demonstrated what this little routine is. And my hope is that by stressing a little bit each day with your kid, you can do this exercise with your children, regardless how you felt about math. But I think our kids are actually watching more what we do than hearing what we say. So when we tell them, don't worry, don't get anxious, they're not really have anything to copy. But if you sit down and do this little exercise with your middle schoolers daily, it's just addition. And little by little, you teach two things to your kids. One, math is black and white, so watch and double check. It's very important. And number two, it is what it is. Test is just a test. It's okay to make a mistake so long you can catch it. Hi, this is Dr. Pan. If you know another middle schooler or another parent with a middle schooler, please share this video so together we can grow that math confidence. Because end of the day, I really believe math ought to open doors for our kids, not close them. With your help, we can get there together. Wherever you are, you're doing an awesome job. Happy parenting. Thanks for watching. Until next time. Bye, Kitty.
For my daughter, adding gets harder when there's more than two numbers. When it was just two numbers, it was easy for her. And then when it was adding up to more than 10, it got harder. But she practiced and got good at that. But now she has to add up lots of numbers, and it's difficult and frustrating for her. And I don't know how to help her. I don't know how to make it easier for her to add up large numbers.
Fabulous. So what I hear is when the number gets a little longer, number of numbers to be added are getting a little longer, it's frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. I have a better way to add. And not only this adding is quicker, it also teaches kid on how to take test-taking skills, or actually build on test-taking skills.
Yes, because at the end of the week, there's often a quiz, and now she has to add up 3 numbers or 4 or 5 numbers, and it's getting harder for her.
Got it. Well, let's start. So let's give me a column numbers to add. Let's say 6 numbers, for example, whatever comes to your mind. So let's give it a try.
She might have to add numbers like this. 7 plus 9 plus 8 plus 5 plus 6 plus 8.
All right. So I'll demonstrate it with this technology, quote-unquote, method can do. And then we'll go through how to actually use this at home. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
So end of the day, I'm hoping you can take this one and transfer it to your daughter. Okay, all right. So I'll just demonstrate a 7 and 9. This one makes 6. Okay, I'll show you later on. And 6 and 8 makes 4 with a dot. 4 and 5 makes 9. The 9 and 6 makes 5 with a dot. 5 and 8 makes 3 with a dot. So the whole number is 43. Now, before we go too far, let's make sure I actually got this one right. So right in front of you,
so you're going to double check the answers.
Yeah, let's check the answer first.
So 7 plus 9 plus 8 plus 5 plus 6 plus 8 equals 43.
Yay.
So it looks to me as though you're using dots to represent tens.
Yes. Number 1 dot says tens. Yeah, you notice that. That's good.
So instead of writing the tens up above where it's easy to lose track of them, you're putting the dots on the side.
Very good.
And you can see where they're happening.
Yeah, because our head is really good at keeping track of one thing at a time. The carries, what you call the dots, are actually in the front. So there's no reason for our head to keep track of that carry.
Yes, I can count them easily and I can see where they're happening.
Right. Now, before we go too deep on the technique, how to add it, let's talk about why this one is important. So let's go to page 2.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, the why. Yeah, whys are... So why would I do this? So I can help my daughter with her math. So math will be easier for her.
Sounds great. So let's take some notes here for our listeners here. Mm-hmm. Let's type it in. So what do you see so far? What would it be advantageous for our listeners down the road? The listeners, so what do you have so far?
So I can help my daughter with her math.
That's fabulous. That always gives parents more power. The parents like to have the power, and then they can take control and charge of the kids' education.
And so math is easier for her?
Yep, that sounds good. All right. Let's keep done, and we can keep on adding.
So she'll get better grades?
That's always good.
So she'll be happy with math?
You're on a roll.
So she'll be happy with math?
Sounds good. All right. Well, the reason we're going through the whys, I believe with enough whys, that's our motivation, why we do the work we do. And once we have enough motivation, we can always get through anything that's troubling us, or, it's a work. It's the work no matter how we look at it. Any other things that you spotted so far?
Yes. I mean, I don't know what she's going to want to do later, but I do know that math is important for many things. And if she wants to study engineering, she'll need math. And if math is hard now, she probably won't want to keep doing it when it gets even harder. But if math can become easier for her now, then hopefully it'll keep on being something that she can do and figure out and stick with, so that she will be able to have options later on. I don't want her ever feeling so frustrated that she gives up on herself.
I hear is keep the options open.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Let's add on there for our listeners.
And so that she'll feel strong with math.
All right.
I guess that means like confident.
Mm-hmm.
Are those good whys?
I believe so. With enough whys, we can get through the house, right? Okay. So let's go on to page 3, and we'll talk about the house.
All right.
All right. So I am on page 3. Are you on page 3 with me?
Yes. Should I write down the numbers again?
No, actually, let's just take this whole system apart. Why are we adding the way we're adding? Okay. If I started with you a 9 and I see 9 plus 5, for a lot of the kids that I've seen so far, they take 9 in their hand or heart and they count 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, right? Then they gave me the number as a 14, right? But if I give any kid 10 plus 4, no one ever counts. They'll say it's equal to 14. For example, 10 plus 7, no one ever counts 10 and then count to 17, right? So the answer is 17, right? It turned out in math, every single number has a cousin number. For example, 9 and 1 makes 10, right?
Right. These are the pair numbers. And,
yep.
and our teacher taught her students to memorize the pair numbers. So my daughter knows that 9 and 1 makes 10 and
perfect.
7 and 3 makes 10.
8 and 2 makes 10. I'll set you up 7 and
3 makes
yep.
10.
Perfect. I'll have you fill in that 3 in there. Yep. 3 makes 10. And then we just have a couple more to go. 6 and 4, that makes our 10, right? Okay. And the last one, 5 and 5, makes our 10, right? Okay, so this technology, we're just using this cousin number, basically.
Okay.
All right. So when we see 9 plus 5, we're not really saying it's 9 plus 5. It's 9 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to group this one into 10 because 10 add anything is easy.
Yes.
So the answer is 14. This is how it works, right? So when we go on to the next page, let's give it a try. All right? Yes. Any questions so far before we go on?
So I have to be able to know what the cousin number is, and then I have to subtract that from the remaining number.
Subtraction is actually a difficult thing. The best way I would say, if you're at home, grab 10 candies.
So show it as groupings.
Show as a groupings.
Okay.
Groupings is so much easier for kids. They're visual. And end of the exercise, you have a candy as a reward. M&Ms are perfect, right? So make it fun and make it interesting and have a little bit of reward near the end. Candies are perfect. All right. So let's go on page 4. Let's try it.
All right.
Okay. So I will start with, say, 7 and 8. Okay. Now you try it. So
I'm going to have, I want 7 to have its cousin number of 3.
All right. Actually, let's change your color so that our reader can see the difference. Okay, there you are.
Okay. So 7 needs 3.
Yep.
And if I had 8, and I take away those 3 to go with the 7, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left over. So I've got my 10 plus 5, which is 15.
Perfect. Perfect. Now, if your child get to this step, which is awesome, next thing you can even do it quicker, challenge the kid to say, okay, 8 and 7, which one would you like to make it happy first? The kid eventually will say, wait a minute, it's a lot easier to make the bigger number happy because they're closer to 10, right?
So I don't have to work from the top. I can, if I have a pair, I can work with the bottom.
Correct.
So I can make that, so the 8 and the 2.
Yep, this becomes 10,
yes,
and this becomes 5. You end up with 15 anyway. It doesn't matter, right? Either way.
You've got the candies, that's easy to show.
Perfect. Yeah. So let's try another one. So if we have 7, 8, that's built on top of it, 9. Okay, now 7 and 8 makes...
We had the 5 and the dot.
Yep. So we go dots and 5. Now you do next one. 5 and 9 makes...
Okay, so, well, 9 wants 1.
Yep.
So I'll take that.
Yep.
And that becomes my dot, and what's left over is the 4.
Yep.
So I ignore it's the number on the bottom that matters. I can ignore the 5 now because I've used the 5 up. I don't need to add up the 5 anymore.
Exactly. So this 4 gets over here. So we'll put it in a box. That's 4, and we have 2 dots, so it's 24. Right?
Yes.
Let's check on our calculator. Actually, in the actual exercise, this is actually a good time to have the kids slow it down a little bit and make sure they're absorbing it really well. And for little kids, especially when they get something by themselves and then see the number on the calculator, it's so exciting. All of a sudden, math matches.
I know that my daughter likes money. She likes coins, so I might use pennies and nickels and dimes instead of candy for some of these. Perfect.
And have her keep all the pennies afterward, right? Little reward. All right. So any other questions before we bring it home and give you some homework to take home?
Can we practice with like 6 numbers? Because I want to see how it goes step by step by step.
Of course. Let's go on to page number 5 and take home. Let's try one. I will give us a number to start with. Let's go 5, 6, 7, 9, 8. Now the reason I have bigger numbers is they're more challenging, and if you can handle the more challenging ones, the easier number like 1, 2, 3, 4 is so much easier to deal with.
So if I start with the 5 and the 6, I'm going to 5 and 6 adds up to 11.
Yep.
So I'm going to put the 1 to the right of the 6, so I know that's it represents those 2. Yep. And I have a dot there on the left.
Yep.
Because that's one of my 10s.
That's the carry, yes.
Yes. Now, 1 plus 7 is less than 10, so I don't need to put a dot here. I just put the 8.
Yep, perfect. Right next to it, yep.
But 9 plus 8, that is going to be a bigger number. So 9 plus 8 is 17.
Very good. We're going to make 9 happy. So it's 17. Yep.
And 8 plus 7, when we practice that one, and because we practice, I remember that 8 plus 7 makes 15. So I need to put a 5 there and a dot there.
Yep.
So
this
I don't need to, the only number I have to worry about is the bottom number.
Yep.
So that goes below
into
the
box.
summation line.
Yes.
And I add up my dots.
Yep.
1, 2, 3. So I get 35.
Yes.
So 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 9 plus 8 equals 35.
Let's check
but
on
I
our
want to check
calculator.
my answer.
Yep.
So 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 9 plus 8. Oh, that equals 35.
Yay. So, right on. Now, at this point, I would say 2 things. One, repetition of the same numbers is more important than different numbers because a child gets better and quicker. It builds the confidence.
The way I remember that the 7 plus 8 equals 15.
Yes.
So if we use the same numbers over and over again, that's actually better than changing the numbers all the time?
Yes.
Oh, that's good to know. I wouldn't have thought of that. But what if my daughter makes a mistake? Could we practice, how would I... Can we practice working through a mistake?
Yes, let's practice the same thing over here. So let's write 5, 6, the same thing. That's how do we correct a mistake when there is one, and how do we benefit our kids when they do make a mistake?
Okay, so if I'm practicing and I go 5 plus 6 equals 11.
Yep.
And I put my 1 next to the right of the 6 and my dot to the left of the 6. And I do 7 plus 1 equals 8.
Yep.
And let's say that I make a mistake here and I just put a dot there because I'm
out of habit.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And 8 plus 9 equals 17.
All right.
And I put a dot there. And 8 plus 7 equals 15. And I put a dot there. And then I get an answer of 45.
Yep.
And then I add it up here, and I add in the music how I get 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 9 plus 8 equals 35. And I realize I've made a mistake. And then how do I catch it? How do I find where my mistake is?
Okay, so I always tell that parents, it's really important when your child make a mistake with the math, you want to honor that because the child is watching your expression. Okay, am I being a bad student by making a mistake? This is such a big opportunity for parents to say, hey, we all make mistakes. The only trick is learn from it, and hopefully next one you'll make a different mistake.
So it's almost like solving a mystery. Where did it happen?
Yes. What happened to it?
Yes.
Let's go look for it.
Let's go look for the mistake.
Yeah. Let's go look for the treasure. Yeah. Where is that treasure? Once you desensitize your child when it comes to mistake, the child actually say, "Oh, I wonder what happened," and that's the key. Whenever a mistake happens, you want your kid associated with what happened.
So it's curiosity, not fear.
Yes, let the curiosity take over, and little by little, the kid can recover themselves much quicker. And that's the ultimate goal, because they can learn on their own, right? And the second thing I would say, a mistake, down the road, once they have this one, you do want to have another skill you want to imprint on, is that math is black and white. It doesn't really care you made the mistake the first step here or last step. So long as answer is wrong down the road when you take those standardized tests like ACT and SAT, it does not give you any partial credit. So it is important to get the right answer. But how to get there is through accuracy first.
So is it usually best to go back and start at the beginning? Or, should I say let's start over again? Let's look for where the mistake is?
I usually give my student 2 options. We can either start from the beginning, or I can give you a different set number. What would you like to do? You give the kid a little more choices and they don't fight you and resist you as much. But the end of the day, it is important to go back, fix the misstep,
yes.
Right? And congratulate every time. Effort matters, right? They got to learn that from someone.
How do you congratulate a kid? What do you say? What do you sound like?
Oh, that reminds me of a little story. So when my daughter first time flunked her math test, this was in 3rd grade. We went out and took the ice cream trip. So our daughter always say, hey, it's time to take an ice cream trip. Somewhere along the way, she says, I don't need the ice cream anymore, but let me go find where I made a mistake anyway, right? So it transferred the mistakes, not something to be feared. It's actually something to be enjoying, because once you figure out where the mistake was, there's a treasure, just like he said before. Yeah, treasure. Where's the treasure?
Okay. So let's start over again at the beginning. And I look and see, okay, 5 and 6, that's 11, so I put the 1 there and a dot there. And 6, no, and 1 plus 7 is 8. Oh, yep. I don't need the dot there because it's less than 10.
Yep.
So I need to cross out that dot.
Yep.
That's where the mistake was.
Yep. And that goes to 35. Awesome.
Okay. Let's get ice cream.
Yeah, ice cream time. Yes, definitely. For homework, build it up to a row of 10 numbers and happy parenting.
Thank you. And I especially appreciate the advice about using the numbers over and over again, the same numbers. I will do that.
Great. All right. Until next week. Thanks for watching and listening. Hi, this is Dr. Pan recording live from Tucson, Arizona. Please join our community. Comment, share, and send your questions in. Each week, I'll share the tips and insights I gained while helping other families just like yours. Together, we can bring that big math smile back to you kids. Thanks for watching.